Okay, welcome everybody to the Two-Way Street Coffee House. Woohoo! My name is Jennifer. I see some new faces. Can I see a show of hands who's never been here before? Oh, wow, wonderful. Well, welcome so much. We're so happy to see you. Thank you for spending your evening with us. We've had live music in this room every Friday night for 55 years. Yes. This is one of the few remaining listening rooms that exist, and because it is a listening room, we ask that you keep your conversations to a minimum, and by minimum, I mean not at all. And if you could also turn off your cell phones, that would be really appreciated as well. So we are so pleased to have you here tonight. We are thrilled to welcome Lil Rev. He is a harmonica and ukulele extraordinaire, and you are going to have so much fun tonight. So we want to give him a big round of applause. So let's Two-Way Street welcome for Lil Rev.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Hello. Thanks for coming out tonight. Nice to be with you guys here. All right. Let's see. I want to start out with a song or two on the mountain dulcimer. Do we have any mountain dulcimer players here tonight? All two of you who are willing to admit it. All right. All right. Well, let's see here. Once I get myself all strapped in, I think I'm going to start out with one of my favorite little combos of tunes. First tune that I'm going to play is from a real troubadour who roamed Ireland. His name was Turlo O'Carolan, and he was a blind Irish harpist. And he ended up naming a lot of his melodies after people who took care of him because he would travel around. People would take him in, and he would play in exchange for room and board, and was a true roaming minstrel, if ever there was one. And anyways, this is one of his most beloved tunes that if you go to Irish pubs or you play in any Irish music circles, you're bound to hear this melody. And then I usually play some kind of other American fiddle tune right after that, and whatever pops into my head in the moment, I'll see what it's going to be. I'm not sure. Let's see. So here we go. South Wind. I better slow it down a little bit. I don't want you folks to get too carried away here tonight. Actually, I usually do play this song a little slower, but I had too much caffeine today. Thank you, thank you. You know, in the years that I've been playing mountain dulcimer, I haven't been able to find anything that I dislike about the instrument. I was given a mountain dulcimer in 2015, and I already play enough instruments, so I really didn't need another instrument, but I was given a really nice instrument, and it made me feel guilty. I felt like I had to really learn how to play this instrument, in order to honor the person who had given me this instrument. And so as the years have gone by, you just keep plugging away, trying to get a little better with each passing year. And I like to write songs on the mountain dulcimer too. I write a lot of instrumental music. You may hear some of it tonight. And but also write a few songs on the mountain dulcimer too. And so I'm going to do one more tune here on the mountain dulcimer. And this is a tune I wrote for my lovely wife. And this is just kind of what I call a gratitude song about being grateful for the love you've received and you receive. And this is called All My Heart Can Hold. Babe, I brought you silver. Mama, you gave me gold. Oh, baby, I brought you silver. Mama, you gave me gold. Babe, you gave me everything my poor heart could hold. Babe, I chopped your kindling. Mama, I shoveled your coal. Oh, baby, I chopped your kindling. Mama, I shoveled your coal. Baby, you gave me everything my poor heart could hold. Now, I'll tell you one little thing here. When you write a song like this, you can't help but reflect on all the experiences you've had and all the folks that have come and gone in your life. I'm going to spare you the long 20-minute story that goes with this song, because that would be half my set. All I'm going to tell you is what I often include in this song is just the simple fact that I am one of those folks who got married, had a kid, signed on the dotted line, and we all do that thinking that's going to be forever. And I ended up losing my first wife to lung cancer and became a single father, which is none of us sign up for that, right? Nobody signs up for that. But life throws punches, and life will throw you a curveball. And if I ever learned anything in martial arts, all the times that I was knocked down, it was the simple act of just getting back up again. You just got to get back up again, no matter how bad it feels, and no matter how much you don't want to get up, and no matter how angry or rage or all the things that go along with loss and mourning and all the things that happen along the way. And I will just tell you one simple little thing that a very dear friend of mine said, Lil Rev, don't worry, God gives you what you need when you need it most. And I'm not the most religious guy in the room. I wasn't even quite sure what to make of that, but the beautiful woman that some of you will meet tonight selling my merchandise is my wife, Jenna, who just happens to be my high school sweetheart. And so it is one of those love stories that you hear about in the movies, when you go to the movies and you hadn't seen each other in 30 years and you find each other again. And so that's my story. I don't know what I did to deserve love, not once but twice. Some people never find it even once. And so when I sing songs like this, it comes from a place of just being very, very grateful that I've been blessed with, a good partner and my daughter who is now 16, our daughter, who is now 16, looked up at Jenna on one cold winter night, and maybe this is TMI for some of you, but looked up at her and said, "Do you know that you are my angel?" A 6-year-old girl who just lost her mother looks up at her and says, "Do you know that you are my angel?" Yeah. And so there you have it, a little bit of the what's behind a song like this. Babe, I brought you silver. Mama, you gave me gold. Babe, I brought you silver. Mama, you gave me gold. Babe, you gave me everything my poor heart could hold. Babe, I loved you then like I love you now. Oh, baby, I loved you then like I love you now. Take you in my arms, I'll show you just how. If I had me tomorrow like I got me today, if I had tomorrow like I got today, take you in my arms, we roll the night away. Babe, I brought you silver. Mama, you gave me gold. Oh, baby, I brought you silver. Mama, you gave me gold. Baby, you gave me everything my poor heart could hold. Baby, you gave me everything my poor heart could hold. Baby, you gave me everything my poor heart could hold. Thank you, thank you. All right, a little bit of Mountain Dulcimer there for you. All right. I know we have a lot of ukaholics here tonight, don't we? Can bring that down just a little bit in the house there. Yeah, just bring it down just a little bit more. A little more on the line, the instrument line there. Can come down with it just a little too hot. Unless they want to hear some rock and roll. We could do some rock and roll. But rock and roll changes, as you get older. I'm in my mid-50s now. And I bought my first guitar when I was 13. I had a paper route, and I had asked my dad to buy me a guitar because, well, just to be incredibly honest with you, the good guitar players got all the chicks. So, that was motivating me, of course. But I took that guitar and I took a few lessons, and pretty soon I was playing a little bit of rock and roll. And that was my generation, was rock and roll, even though there was folk music all around me. I just didn't appreciate it at the time the way I did years later, that I was growing up around a lot of rich traditions. I didn't see it because, my generation was listening to the radio. And it was hard rock and heavy metal, punk rock. And what's funny is that a lot of this music, it would scare your grandma, And the names of the bands would scare your grandma too, Just the names all by themselves. And so, but Art Theme, who played here many times over the years and was a hero of mine, he said, if folks don't write new songs today, there won't be any folk songs tomorrow. And I thought about that when he said that to me one time, But I had to wonder, and I had to ask myself, when I get old and gray and I'm in the nursing home, somebody shows up with a guitar, will they be singing any of the songs that I came of age with in the 1980s? It's an interesting proposition. Now, on many sides of the spectrum, it seems to be we're living in an era that a lot of people are agitated and irritated. And I think this folk song makes for a good outlet for people because it doesn't pick a side. And so here's what happens when you take a hard rock / heavy metal song and play it on the ukulele. No matter what you do, everything on this instrument comes out sounding happy. Okay? You cannot make people sad when you pick up the ukulele. And I'll show you what I mean, okay? Here we go. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. Say that with me. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. We have the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be. This is our destiny. Well, you don't know us and you don't belong. Here's your part, ready? We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. Do it one more time. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. Your life is condescending, boring and never ending. If that's your best, well, your best won't do. You're so condescending, your gall is never ending. You don't know us and you don't belong. Come on, here we go. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. Do it one more time now. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. Oh, try that with me. Oh, one more time. Oh, we're right, yeah, you'll see. We'll fight, man, we're free. We're not gonna take it no more. See, doesn't that feel good? It don't matter what side you're on, right? It's just saying we're not gonna take it. One thing that has been real clear to me is we've got all these icons of America. We've got our flag, of course. Although George Carlin said this about symbols. He said the flag is a symbol, and that means that it's for the symbol-minded. But when it all comes down to push and shove, let's take our great American eagle, right? There's another symbol of America, right? I had never seen an eagle fly with just a left wing or just a right wing. It needs both wings, wouldn't you agree? We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. Last time now. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it no more. You can beg to differ, but I believe this little melody is going to be a folk song in the next 100 years. There you go. From Twisted Sister. I've never said anything like that. In all the years that I've played on this stage, I've never said Twisted Sister. I've said Woody Guthrie. I've said Lead Belly. I've said Pete Seeger, but I never said Twisted Sister. Hope that didn't scare anybody. All right, we'll do another one for you on the ukulele here. And now we're going to do a really cool old folk song that I learned from a guy who was the former head of the Library of Congress Folk Archive. And his name was Joe Hickerson. And I think he learned this from Pete Seeger, put out an album many, many years ago called Industrial Ballads, which is basically songs of America's work experience. And a lot of them were songs that went back to the late 1800s. So I don't know when this song was created. I heard it and I kind of fell in love with it, and it's called The Blind Fiddler. Lost my sight in the blacksmith shop in the year of 56. Dusting out a tea planch, which was out of fix. Bounded from my home, there concealed my doom. I'm a blind fiddler long, and I'm a long, long ways from home. Went to San Francisco, yeah, visit Dr. Lane. Operated on one of my eyes, nothing could he gain. Said I'd never see again, Lord, it wasn't no use to mourn. I'm a blind fiddler, Lord, and I'm a long, long ways from home. Got a wife, 3 little kids, depending now on me. Sharing all my trouble, whatever they might be. Hope they are contented, I'm compelled to roam. I'm a blind fiddler long, and I'm a long, long ways from home. The Blind Fiddler. Kind of a neat little song, hey? All right, do one more for you here on this ukulele. And I'll play a instrumental piece for you guys now. This is a tune that I wrote after I was inspired by something that a fella said at a nursing home I was playing at. Back in Wisconsin, as I said many times over the years, a lot of my friends call me the king of the nursing home circuit in Wisconsin. And some, you can laugh, but I wear that badge with pride. Because if you knew all the times that I met really cool people, like really great people, like great Americans, that I call them great Americans, because they're people who helped build this country. They're veterans. They're people who had fabulous stories to tell about their lives. And if I wasn't in such a hurry to race out of there and get on with the rest of my day, I could sit and listen to those stories. And not only that, they're lonely as hell. And so, when you go there and you give them a little bit of time, the music itself is enough, but if you sit down and you talk to somebody for a little while, it's a real blessing because they need that and they're lonely, But not just because of that. You always get so much wisdom back from them. And America does a lot of things very, very well. But one thing that America does not do well is revere its elders. And so I spent every weekend with my grandparents growing up. And so for me, it was just sort of like a shoe-in to be playing at nursing homes and hanging out with our elders. And one day I was playing in Oshkosh, and this fellow came up to me afterwards, and he was really excited, particularly about ukulele, which I don't get a lot of all the time. At ukulele events I do. But anyways, he came up to me, and I couldn't really quite understand what he was saying, but he had this kind of twisted, contorted look on his face. Had a little bit of, phlegm hanging off the side of his lip, kind of dripping down. This is what you get when you go to nursing homes sometimes. So, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he looked up at me, and his hand was shaking. And I'd seen that many, many times before, because my grandma had Parkinson's disease too. And he looked up at me, and he said, Lil Rev, you did the Ashtabula upstroke. Just like that. And I didn't make much of it. I mean, what the heck is that? The Ashtabula upstroke? I mean, who knows what this guy was on? That's what I told myself in the moment. But then after I was packing up and loading up my vehicle, I realized that maybe he knew something that I did not. Especially since I wrote a whole book on strumming techniques, and they all had cool names like the Ashtabula upstroke. And so maybe this 90-some-year-old guy knew something I didn't, and maybe I did something that had another name. Maybe he played ukulele when he was a kid. Who knows? But it started to bother me that I didn't ask him what he meant, as strangely as he delivered that to me. And 3 months later, when I went back, he caught the westbound. That's hobo lingo for passing on. So I never had a chance to ask him. And anyways, I composed a little melody called the Ashtabula upstroke. So anyways, we'll never know. Here we go. There you have it, the Ashtabula upstroke. One night I couldn't sleep, and I rolled over and I woke my wife up, and she wasn't really happy about it at all. And I whispered in her ear, I said, "Sweetie." She said, What's wrong? I said, "Nothing's wrong." I said, "I can't sleep, but I want to tell you something." She said, "What? Can't this wait till the morning?" I said, "No, it's been bothering me." She said, "What?" I said, "I know how to do the Ashtabula upstroke." The night did not get any better at all, yeah. She did not find that funny at all either, too. So just goes to show you sometimes, you think something's funny, but others don't. All right, it's time to set the ukulele down. How many ukulele players are in this audience tonight that are willing to admit it? All three of you. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to switch the plug just if you want to mute the line, then we won't get a big pop. Okay. How many of you saw the movie A Complete Unknown? Anybody? Yeah. You liked it? Yeah. I really loved it. I'm a big Bob Dylan fan. I'm a few weeks away from debuting a new show with Milwaukee folk singer Will Branch, and I have a show called When Dylan Met Guthrie, which we're debuting in Milwaukee in a couple weeks. And it's meant for performing arts centers and theaters and places like that. But anyways, this is one of the songs in the show. And let's see, we're going to add a little bit of harmonica too. It's a process, so bear with me. Okay, you get to see my hat hair. Yeah. Just like the little lady at the nursing home. She didn't think I heard her. She goes to the lady in the wheelchair sitting next to her. She goes, I wonder if he has hair on his head. All right. Now, there aren't a lot of hot licks in this arrangement like there was in the last piece I just played. Okay? All right, give me a little juice there on the line. There we go. Thank you. When your name is Bob Dylan, you don't have to repeat yourself. Okay? You go from concert to concert, you don't even have to repeat yourself because you've written thousands of songs. Okay? When you make a recording, you don't have to record the same song that you did, the last couple albums because your name is Bob Dylan and you've written thousands of songs. But for some reason, Bob Dylan recorded this song not once but twice. He recorded it on an album called Freewheeling, which I think was his second album, if I remember right. And then he also recorded it on an album called Nashville Skyline. And on Nashville Skyline, he does this one with Johnny Cash. And so my hunch is he probably didn't want to do this. My hunch is Johnny Cash said, hey, Bob, let's do that Girl from the North Country. And when Johnny Cash asks you to do a song, yes, you say, okay, yeah, I think I'll do that. So here it is. At least the baritone ukulele version. If you're traveling in the North Country Fair, winds hit heavy on borderline. See for me to one who lives there. She once was true love of mine, true love of mine, true love of mine. She once was true love of mine. And if you're gone with a snowflake storm, rivers freeze, summer end, see that she wears a coat so warm, keep her from howling wind. See for me, she remembers me at all. Many times I've often prayed in the darkness of my night, in the brightness of my day. See for me if her hair's hanging long, rolls and flows on down her breast. See for me if her hair's hanging long, that's
the way I remember her best. So if you're traveling in the North Country Fair, winds hit heavy on borderline, see for me to one who lives there. She once was true love of mine.
Thank you. All right. All right, have you guys had enough ukulele yet? No? Okay, all right, well then I gotta do one more for you. All right, and we'll do a little more harmonica here. Now we're gonna do a little tune from the 1930s. Bob Dylan wrote that last song in the early 60s. This is a little tune from Leroy Carr, Scrapper Blackwell, a whole bunch of different folks sang this song.
Baby, how long? Hey, that evening train been gone. How long? How long? Baby, how long? If I could holler like a mountain jack, I'd climb the mountain, bring my baby back. How long? How long? Baby, how long? I see the green grass growing up on the hill. I see no greenback on a dollar bill. How long? How long? Baby, how long? I hear the whistle, I see no train. In my heart, aching pain. How long? How long? Baby, how long? I hear the whistle, I see no train. In my heart, aching pain. How long? How long? Baby, how
You all are way too kind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, well, I'm going to play a little guitar now. All right. Let's see here. So I'm going to sing a song I wrote for my great-grandfather. And it was the year 1909. That's what all the papers say. When I look at my genealogy, they arrived in 1909 and had a little bit of money saved up. Not a ton, but some folks arrived with just the clothes on their back. They didn't have a first-class ticket. It was in steerage, like a lot of folks, like a lot of your ancestors too. And they were looking for a better life, you know, and just looking to work hard. And my great-grandfather worked 14, 15, 16-hour days. He was a master shoemaker. And he had a buddy who went ahead of him, was also in the shoe industry. And God only knows how they found this out, but the little town of Sheboygan, that's more known for sausages these days, had about 4 or 5 different shoe factories there at the time. And so his buddy said, you know, I got a little tiny place. You can sleep on the floor when you get here, and you know, whatever, until you can get established. And so that's what our ancestors did. You know, they had a lot of grit. So, you know, ask yourself this question: do you have the kind of grit that if tomorrow you had to take one bag and get on a boat and go somewhere else, not knowing the language or anything, or very little of the language? Because when my great-grandfather came from the Ukraine and he arrived at Samuel Ellis Island, his English wasn't that great, trust me. But you know, he learned enough ahead of time to just kind of get in the door, and figured they'd learn more as they went along. And they were the pull yourself up by the bootstraps generation. They were the something from nothing generation. And they were also the generation that, you know, we seem to often forget that we're all kind of still riding on their coattails, believe it or not. And so I wrote this song many years ago. I wrote it, I think, 2007 or 2008. And that was around the time of the housing bubble. I was just thinking about how lucky I felt to have enjoyed, you know, now 5.5 decades of the freedoms I have enjoyed. And I have a lot of veterans in my family. Lots of people served across multiple fronts. You know, I like to think that my family has contributed, you know, quite a bit to this country since 1909, like all of yours. And but the door was open. And then the door was not. And then the door was open. And then the door closed pretty tightly. And then it opened up a little bit. And then it opened up a whole lot more. And what nobody ever really wants to say, because I don't know why, you know, I mean, is that America, like many countries, has always had a need for an immigrant population that is willing to do the work that all of us who have been here for a while don't want to do anymore. I don't know why that is. You know, look, I got young, strong nephews who don't want to work on a construction crew. That's good pay, man. That's really good pay. I got young, strong nephews who don't want to be plumbers or electricians. They don't want to, you know, they don't want to work in the kitchen. They don't want to do a lot of jobs that our immigrants are doing, that you all know. You don't need me to tell you, you know. It's interesting because of the times we live in. All of a sudden people, you know, you know, like, you know. But so when I sing this song, I'm thinking of my great-grandfather, but it's so apropos to today, because I've always celebrated the fact, for me, I can't speak for none of you guys, I've always celebrated the fact that for me, I live in a country that, if you, not that the door is open, you cross the border, you sneak in, or any of this other stuff, but that there's a process, like my great-grandfather, and you come here and you're willing to work really hard. Really hard. And look, I saw the people who shingled my roof last summer, They worked really hard, and they showed up on time, and they showed up when they said they were going to be there, which is more than I can say for a few other contractors that I'd hired over the years. But I like to believe that America still represents that bastion, that torch in the air. Because in 7th grade civics class, I was made to memorize, "Bring me your tired, hungry, huddled masses." And we learned all the different functions of the government. Do they still even teach that? Seems to me people don't even know what the government does anymore, or is supposed to do. Anyways, my great-grandfather, Lewis, may rest in peace, is laying in a little cemetery on the outskirts of Kohler, Wisconsin, where they make toilets and showers. And his wife, Frida, is laying there too, my great-grandmother. And God bless him, because here I am. And I'm pretty grateful for that. And I still believe in that promise of America. But there's always been a dark side and a light side to immigration in America, and people got to accept that. It means there's a good side to it, and there's also a dark side to it, too. And I'm going to sing about that right now. So here's to the Lewises of this world who opened the door for us. And what's your family history? Were you Scotch? Were you Irish? Were you... did you leave during the potato famine? Chances are you got off the boat thinking the streets were paved with gold, and as soon as you got off the boat, someone handed you a shovel and said, "You do the paving." First we come on to this land, it was wild and free. Then we drove the natives out from sea to shining sea. We put up our tall buildings, called the land of the free. Till the dark night was cut by light from the Statue of Liberty. Let 'em in, don't shut us out or keep us in. Oh, glory, she's a-waving now, the hungry masses in. Great God Almighty, let 'em in. Down in the mine, the Scot did find, the Swede and Dutchman too. Way up north on the factory floor, there was a Polish Jew. The cotton came from way down south, picked by an African crew. Now you may think that the times have changed, but them folks was me and you. Let 'em in, don't shut us out, oh keep us in. Oh glory, she's a-waving now, hungry masses in. Great God Almighty, let 'em in. And this old land, it grew up fast, many came ashore. Some came by their own accord, some shackled to the floor. To build up this great nation, man, we called for many more. While those still here, some lived in fear of their new neighbor next door. Let 'em in, don't shut us out, oh keep us in. Oh glory, she's a-waving now, hungry masses in. Great God Almighty, let 'em in. I don't know about your community, but I know about mine in Sheboygan. I do 125 dates a year. I crisscross the country. I know what I see and I know what I hear. And to boot, I don't have to rely on the news media. I can rely on the friends whom I trust to be my lifeline to what's really happening and going on out there. And since I just got back from 5.5 weeks out west, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Albuquerque, Texas, Utah, Nevada, California home, that's just one example of what I see and hear. So I don't have to turn on the news to know what's going on. But I know Sheboygan, my little town where I live, of about 47,000 people. I know there's a shingle on every other factory. And you know what that shingle says? It says help wanted. You want a job? Come up to Sheboygan. Old Wisconsin Sausage is constantly hiring. I think they started about 17, 18 bucks an hour. You want a job? Sargento Cheese Factory out towards Howard Grove, they're hiring too. I think they're at 21 bucks an hour. None of the folks around where I live want those jobs. So where's the labor force going to come from? And then we bemoan why companies are talking about hiring robots. It's a complex equation, my friends. But here we all are now. And just like Leadbelly, the great African-American blues singer, he said, we might have come over in separate boats, but we're all in the same boat now, brother. And ain't that right, this great experiment, in order to form a more perfect union, they say. So here we are. Don't worry. When bad laws are passed, they can be repealed. It's just that we got to be patient sometimes. And it don't get done by screaming and pushing each other out of the room either.
Times ain't changed enough to blame those trying to get by. Just think about the Chinamen, or no Irish need apply. And even my own people, 6 million they did die. So you can build your walls strong and tall, but I'll still reach for the sky. Let 'em in, don't shut us out, oh keep us in. Oh glory, she's a-waving now, hungry masses in. Great God Almighty, let 'em in. Yeah, I'm glad they let Lewis in. By World War II, they weren't letting all those Eastern Europeans into America. You could sail a boat up and down the coast. You could go up to Canada maybe, or Nova Scotia or somewhere like that. Or you could sail on down to Argentina or someplace like that. And maybe if you're lucky, they'd let you in. But by then, most of my family had left Eastern Europe. And by God, there isn't a day it doesn't go by that I don't thank God that they did that. Because man, I'm proud to be an American for a lot of reasons. I might be a little disappointed at some of the things I see happening right now. But in order to form a more perfect union, here we all are. All right, I got time for one more short little, tiny little piece here before I close out this first set. I really want to thank you for coming out tonight, and this is a great crowd here, and always happy to come back to A Street. It's a real pleasure. I think I'm finally warmed up now. So let's see here. I think I'll finish out a little piece on the mouth harp, a little harmonica. I will be doing a class here. What is the date? The 27th? 29th. Okay. On the 29th, I'll be doing a class on a harmonica class, and it's for the complete beginner. So you just show up. I'll have harmonicas to sell, pretty reasonably priced. I've been doing this class for over 30 years. I've published 2 books internationally on how to play the harmonica. And I'll take you from complete beginner through the workshop. I'll get you playing some basic stuff, single notes, some simple folk songs, some chords. I'll teach you how to make your harmonica sound like a train. I'll teach you how to get a kind of campfire type of tremolo-y sound. All kinds of fun stuff. And those of you who are already playing ukulele and know a few chords, I'll be doing a class on bluegrass styles for ukulele that day. So there'll be 2 workshops. If you feel like doing some music learning and you're a player, please come out by all means. So I'll take a little sip, and I'm going to finish out with a little piece here for you. All right. Well, in the old days, there was none of this. And there was no reverb. There were no fancy effects on the microphone. Like when you see the Chicago blues players and they're playing through you got the microphone right up in their hands like that, and they got all the different effects on the harmonica. They can make the harmonica sound all like a saxophone if they want. But in the old days, harmonica players would just take anything that had
an opening on two sides. So like think of like a can or a broken bottle or something of that sort. In fact, I've been kicked out of 2 hardware stores simply for playing through flexible plumbing joints and PVC. And I'm proud of that, actually. So one night when my beautiful wife and I were sitting outside and we were having a glass of wine sitting by the fire, and I looked over and I saw our little oil lamp on our picnic table was burning, and the wick was up too high. So I walked over and I turned it down, and it was like charring the inside of the shade. And then also I just stood there transfixed for the better part of a minute or two. And then out of the darkness, I heard these words, "Don't do it," as only a wife could say. And so I did. And I took that hurricane lampshade and I put it up to my harmonica. But then I couldn't think of what to play, and I know hundreds of songs. It was funny as can be because I couldn't think about what I should play. But I'm like, this is going to be really cool. This is going to be really cool. So I brought that shade with tonight. There it is right there. Okay. And I'm going to show you what it sounds like. Okay. I think it's pretty cool. I eventually did figure out what song I wanted to play. It's just a simple little Appalachian tune called "Cluck Old Hen," and this is what it sounds like. I had a hen, she had a wooden leg, best darn hen that ever laid an egg. Laid more eggs than any hen around. I reckon another snort won't do me no harm. Cluck old hen, cluck and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck old hen, cluck and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last fall. My old hen's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes enough for the whole damn crew. Cluck old hen, cluck and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck old hen, cluck and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last fall. Thank you.
Okay, a big round of applause for Lil Rev. We're going to take about a 10 or 15 minute break. You can refill your snacks and drinks. And we have a whole bunch of merch over here on the piano and over there on the little credenza, I think that's called. So please check it out. Lots of books, CDs you don't want to miss. We're going to be back in about 15 minutes. The bathrooms are down the hall and on the left. So we'll see you shortly.
I probably could, but I'm not. I don't hear that well anymore. We had one at our house when I still was there with the kids. Yeah. We had that banjo, we had several guitars.
Okay, everybody, we're going to get started here in a few minutes, but I wanted to talk a few minutes before we start about all the wonderful things that are happening here at the Two-Way Street Coffee House. As Lil Rev mentioned, at the end of the month, we're so lucky to have him participate in our Fifth Saturdays workshop. Every time there's a fifth Saturday in the month, we have a special workshop. And so, as was mentioned, we have a harmonica and ukulele workshop on the 29th of November. And the registration, I just opened it a few days ago. You can go online. You can take a picture right here. It's $25 per workshop, and we're really excited about that. Next week, the same time, we have our local artist showcase where we're featuring Ed Ash and his son, Eddie Ash. So Ed Ash used to go by Southside Eddie, and he is the second act that's played the most. So Brian Dagenhart was the most played with like 40-something times he's played, and closely followed by Southside Eddie. So we're super excited to have a father and son local artist showcase with them. We also have a Nordic dance coming up the second Sunday of the month, and we have our barn dance on the 15th. So we have plenty of great things. Our December is also very festive and fun, so please check out all the flyers on your tables, and also out on the racks we have all the information and calendars for all the other local music venues. Maple Street Concerts, Acoustic Renaissance, St. Tim's. So please be sure to check out all the information. There is music abound everywhere. So thank you so much for listening to me ramble. And now we're going to get started with another set from Lil Rev.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Well, hopefully I won't have to spend too much time tuning the banjo. But did you know that banjo players spend half their time tuning and the other half playing out of tune? And that's why there's so many jokes that aren't funny about the banjo, because people are sitting there tuning and they've got to kill the time. So they're like, how do you get a professional banjo player off your front porch? Pay him for the pizza. See, I told you they weren't funny. What do you say to a professional banjo player in a three-piece suit? May the defendant please rise. Oh, you guys are very polite. All right. I'm going to start this set with a little bit of banjo for you. When I was a curly-headed baby, Daddy set me down upon his knee. Son, you go to school, learn your letters. From being a dusty miner boy like me. Born and raised in the mouth of a hazard hall. Coal cars rumbling past my door. Now I'm standing in a rusty row all empty. And the yelling end don't stop here anymore. The yelling end don't stop here anymore. Used to think my daddy was a black man, script enough to buy the company store. Now we go downtown with empty pockets, faces white as a February snow. Was born and raised in the mouth of a hazard holler. Coal cars rumbling past my door. Now I'm standing in a rusty row all empty, and the yelling end don't stop here anymore. Never thought I'd learn to love that coal dust. Never thought I'd pray to hear those Templars roar. Oh God, I wish this dust would turn to money, and the yelling end don't stop here anymore. Yeah, the yelling end don't stop here anymore. Last night I dreamt I went down to the office, pay my fee just like I'd done before. Them kudzu vines was coming up through the doorway. Leaves and grass were growing up through the floor. Was born and raised in the mouth of a hazard holler. Coal cars rumbling past my door. Now I'm standing in a rusty row all empty, and the yelling end don't stop here anymore. The yelling end don't stop here anymore. Say that with me. The yelling end don't stop here anymore. One more time. The yelling end don't stop here anymore. Thank you, everybody. That was called "The Ellen Don't Stop Here Anymore," and that was written by a dulcimer player named Gene Ritchie from Kentucky, and covered by a lot of people. I first heard that song sung by Johnny Cash and Marty Stewart and a few other people, and then I went back and heard Gene Ritchie's version. That was the one that really got me. And then I followed it with an old-time American fiddle tune called "Old Time Liza Jane" on the banjo. One of the few. No, just kidding. All right. Let me get back on the guitar here for a song. So we can go from, Gene Ritchie wrote all these songs that sounded like they were 100 years old. And so she was very steeped in the old-time mountain ballad tradition. So everything came out sounding old-timey. And I love when that happens, when you can capture that. So let's see here. Now I'm gonna go from "The Ellen Don't Stop Here Anymore" to a tune that I wrote. This is a song that was inspired by a few people in my life, a few of whom are no longer with me, or with us, I should say, including my father-in-law, William McBain, who was a 2 Purple Heart Vietnam veteran and a heroic Milwaukee firefighter. Really incredible man. And he left us during COVID. All right. Now, just out of curiosity, I think it's real important to ask this question for the sake of this song. I like to write songs to give voice to the voiceless. I like to write songs that are oftentimes tough subjects. And I first started feeling a lot of, these feelings that inspired this song probably 20 years ago when I was really doing a lot of like retirement homes and veterans hospitals and veterans homes, memory care places. And I really started thinking about just how lucky we all are, because all of a sudden one day, like you blink your eye and tomorrow you wake up and your hip's not working the way it worked before. Take it from an old martial arts guy who's pretty beat up from that himself. You wake up and something happens, and then you don't have that mobility that you had for your whole life. And just a simple act of coming to the Two-Way Street Coffee House to catch a show would seem like such a blessing. How many of you know somebody who's at home right now because they just couldn't get here, even if they wanted to? Anybody raise your hand? How many of you know somebody who's ever had chronic pain, either presently or is passed on? Raise your hand. Look around the room, everybody. Look around the room. See all those hands? Okay, that's why I wrote this song. And I wrote it one night when one of my very dear friends who doesn't get out of the house very much came to one of my concerts in Sheboygan. And it was packed and there was no place to sit, and he wound up sitting with some friends of mine. And by the end of the night, he had drank 7 Maker's Marks. Yes. Yeah. And anyways, really I'm going to cut to the chase and just simply tell you that I know lots of people who sometimes have to self-medicate just to get out of the house because their hip is shot or their knees are shot or their back is shot, or it's one thing or the other. And we're always so quick to judge other people because they might have to self-medicate. And sometimes they self-medicate with things that are legal, and sometimes they self-medicate with things that might not be legal, but the point is they want to stay in the game. They want to stay in the game. So let's not judge them. Let's try to find some compassion. And I think you'll get that point as you hear this song. Bottle of wine
Advil too. There's lots of things I might choose. THC, CBD, these things were made for you and me. Just trying to make it through. Oh, how about you? Just trying to make it through. You do the same thing too. Just trying to make it through. Oh, another day. There's whiskey man, bourbon too. This drink was made for me and you. There's Delta 8, 9 and 10. I'm walking the dog. It's my best friend. Just trying to make it through. Oh, how about you? Just trying to make it through. You do the same thing too. Just trying to make it through. Oh, another day. Yeah, just give me another day, Lord. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Lord knows I tried just to keep it clean. Time goes by and the body keeps score until one day we can't do what we did before. Ain't that the truth? And sometimes there's just those little reminders, you know, like that, all that wood that I got delivered the other day, and I go out behind my house and I see a 2 days worth of stacking wood sitting there. And of course I like to be outside in the fresh air, and I like to stack the wood almost as much as I like to split it. Just makes me feel good. But coming up on 57 and 10,000 crescent kicks and roundhouse kicks under my belt, that left hip of mine, it says, Lil Rev, maybe you shouldn't haul wood all day. Maybe you shouldn't stack wood all day. Maybe you should do it for like an hour or two at a time. Because, you know, that way, you know, you won't have to take 4, 5, 6 days off in pain when that hip starts reminding you to be smarter, not harder. To learn moderation instead of thinking you're still Superman all these years later. Yeah. 70 years in this frame, rust never sleeps, and it brings some pain. TMI, take morphine in, now watch the pain disappear, my friend. Just trying to make it through. Oh, how about you? Just trying to make it through. You do the same thing too, just trying to make it through. Oh, another day. Now you might think, I'm a little intense. All the drugs I take don't make no sense. But I tell you now, I'm a God-fearing man, and the Lord said, son, do the best you can. So God forbid, if you should ever feel my pain, you will never judge another should they choose not to abstain. Just trying to make it through. Oh, how about you? Just trying to make it through. You do the same thing too, just trying to make it through. Oh, another day.
Those were the days, my friend, I hope they'd never end. We'd live forever in just a day. Yes, sirree. All right. Now we're going to do what they said can't be done. Or maybe they said shouldn't be done. Because if you let me hear it, then I'm going to try it. Okay? If you're the one saying that shouldn't be done or that can't be done, then chances are I'm going to try it. And that's what they were saying about the ukulele and a bottleneck slide. They were saying, Lil Rev, when somebody picks up a steel string guitar and a brass, piece that they put on their hand or a bottle, and they rub it against those metal strings on the guitar body is so big, the guitar neck is so long, there's lots of room to slide that bottle like the old Delta blues players would do. You don't do that on a ukulele. The strings are nylon. Nylon is very different from metal. It doesn't have that resonance. You have a real small little neck on the ukulele, a small body, and it's probably just not the smartest thing to do, to think you can play slide like the old blues guys did on the ukulele. Besides, Lil Rev, no one's going to take it seriously. Okay, I mean, it's a ukulele after all. I'm going down to Brownsville. Baby, gonna take that right-hand road. Yeah, I'm going down to Brownsville. Baby, gonna take that right-hand road. Well, I ain't gonna quit walking till I get in Big Mama's door. Well, the girl I'm a-lovin', she got long brown curly hair. Yeah, the girl I'm a-lovin', she got long brown curly hair. Well, her mama and her papa know, well, they don't want me there. If you see my jumper, baby, mama, hang it on the wall. If you see my jumper, baby, mama, hang it on the wall. Well, you know by that sweet baby, gonna get your ashes hauled. There you have it, a little slide on the ukulele. I think it's pretty cool. All right. Well, we're going to play the regular ukulele. This is a tenor ukulele. The tenor ukulele, made by a company called Maya Mo, pretty close to here in Glenview, and you can go to their little shop where they build these and walk in, find a whole bunch of them hanging on the wall there, and really beautiful instruments. All right, so I'm gonna do a little finger style, and this first piece is a tune that goes back to the late 1800s. It's called Spanish Fandango, and it's a finger style piece. And then I always foul it with a piece that I wrote for my daughter after she lost her goldfish, and it was floating in the tank. And I promised I'd write a tribute to the goldfish, and she looked up at me and said, the only thing, and mind you, she was like 7, 8 years of age at the time, looked up at me and said something that only a 7 or 8-year-old could say to their parent with a straight face in reference to her goldfish. Dad, Rio and I had a lot of good times together. So even though I couldn't imagine what a good time with a goldfish would be, I still wrote a tribute song to it. So first I'll play this really cool old finger style piece, and this is for all you ukulele players here tonight. And then I'll go into this other piece that I composed called Rio the Fisherman. Here we go. Thank you.
wayfaring stranger traveling through. This will be long. There's no sickness, no toil or danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I go. I'm just a gone over Jordan. I'm just a gone over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way. It's a rough and steep, but beauteous fields shall surround me. My soul redeemed, its vigils keep. I'm going there to see my father. He said he'd meet me when I go. I'm just a gone over Jordan. I'm just a gone over home. I'm just a gone over home. I'm just a gone over home. Thank you. It's Poor Wayfaring Stranger. That one is called. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna unplug this one. All right. Let me go back over here to the guitar. We having a good time tonight? Yeah. All right. Well, you can find me at lilrev.com, LILREV.com. And you want to find out what I'm up to, I'm all over the country. And I'll use snowbirds. I go to Florida in January and February every year. And so I'll be down there all over the state, from bluegrass festivals to libraries to ukulele clubs, you name it, all kinds of different shows and things I'll be teaching and performing. Oh, let's see here. All right. The lights are up enough that I can pull this off. So, could you just pass that around the room? You know, just maybe, or walk it around the room or whatever.
You gonna introduce your wife to us?
This is my wife, Jenna. So I want everybody to take a look at what's coming around the room, and it's going to take me 2 or 3 minutes to tell you about this song. But it's important that you see this. It's important that you see these pictures. So I told you I just got back from a tour out west, and I did 5 weeks. And I went on the road. I never tour with anyone else unless my wife or my daughter are with me. I always go solo. The kind of work that I do, it's, rarely do I need another musician with me. And, you know the saying, I'm going to make tens of dollars tonight. So that should explain it to you too. But the pictures that you're seeing are my wife's family, my own family. For instance, my father is a veteran of the Korean War. You'll see 2 of my uncles on there. Both are World War II veterans. One of them stormed the beaches of Normandy and liberated concentration camps. my touring partner, Ray Segrimus, who I just got off the road with, his father is on there as well because we created that for the tour to go with a song that I'm going to sing for you guys now. And his father made 7 landings in the South Pacific. That is remarkable if you know anything about the history of the South Pacific. That's just to make 7 of them and still be alive to talk about it. It was pretty intense fighting in the South Pacific, if you know your American war history. Jenna's grandfather, you'll see the picture of the captured Nazi plane there. That's my wife's grandfather, Grandpa Klingman, who was, I believe, a door gunner, and all kinds of other people from my family, Jenna's family, and Ray Segrimus's family as well. And your family, not on that picture board, but on your family, because your family, more than likely had some role in World War II. And in World War II, if you weren't off fighting, you were working in the factories to support the economy. In fact, the women went into the factories when the men went off to fight. Rosie the Riveter, right? Yeah. Anyways, a lot of my family members did want to talk about their experiences, and even Jenna's dad, who was 2 Purple Hearts from Vietnam, helicopter hit by an RPG, jumped out, one of the only ones to survive. They don't want to talk about those things. But what they would talk about from time to time, if you're really paying attention, was how they felt about being a veteran. I would have been a veteran of the Gulf War, but as fate had it, I was enlisted in the United States Marine Corps Reserve. I was hoping to make money for my college, the GI Bill, and somebody ran a red light and slammed into my car and completely wrecked my back for quite a while. So I never got to finish my training that I had started, and I wound up with a medical discharge. But I've always had a lot of respect for veterans, and many of my classmates from my era are struggling with what they experienced in Afghanistan and Iraq, affecting them to this day. How many of you have veterans in your family? Raise your hand, just curious. Ask a veteran some of the reasons why they went off and fought. Like, it's always an idea, right? To put your life on the line, isn't it always an idea? We live for an idea, and for our country, right? In my family, my Uncle Joe, I was fortunate enough to know, was an artillery man. You'll see his picture on that. And he was a big one for civil liberties. So he was always talking about freedom of speech, and he would always say, you can't say anything you want in other countries. He'd say, so these are the things that I fought for, the things I believe in America. He would say freedom of the press. He would say, even when you don't like what you're reading, that there's always a lot of opinions. He would say the right to peacefully assemble or petition the government for grievance. First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, my grandpa, the Second Amendment, a lot of different reasons, right? And so we all have those reasons that we hold dear why we value our country. But ask a veteran why they fought. So one day, I go to visit my dad, and my dad and I didn't always vote the same way. I said, my dad and I didn't always vote the same way, but we could talk about it. In fact, when I was a kid, I'd go to my grandpa and grandma's, my aunts and uncles and cousins would be there, and just be this whole nuclear family, and I was just a kid. And I'm not kidding you. Sometimes I would go up to my dad, and I would say, Dad, why are they fighting? They weren't physically fighting, but they were yelling at each other. And then at the end of the night, everybody would hug and kiss and go home. And then it would start all over again the next weekend. So I grew up believing that even when you didn't agree with somebody, you could still sometimes very hot-headedly, tell how do you feel the way you feel? That was normal to me, And so I grew up to be a moderate. And I was always looking for the center of the road in American politics. And even though that's none of your business, I feel like it's important because I feel like when things move too far to the right or too far to the left, it just gets crazy.
and that's just my opinion and freedom of speech, man, So it's not that you came here to hear my politics tonight, but I walk in and my dad is literally in tears, and I'm not exaggerating this. I have never seen my father cry, not because he was unfeeling or didn't have emotions. My dad knows how to take it on the cheek and let it bounce off his shoulder, and he always finds the silver lining in everything, and I love that about him. He's the greatest man I know, the most honest man I know. And so he's literally in tears, and I'm asking him why he's crying. And he says, as a veteran, I can't tell you how much it hurt me to hear one of our political leaders refer to one of my favorite politicians, John McCain, as a sucker and a loser, especially when that person is a draft dodger. And literally in tears, he goes, that was the last time my dad voted for the Republican Party. And when I left there, I was, trying to figure out how to reconcile those feelings. It took a while, but eventually this song came out. And given that this community is purple, that means some of you are going to agree with me and some of you aren't. This is blue. Okay, well, when I looked it up, because I look up everywhere I go, and by the way, I'm not trying to preempt this, but I sang this in Washura County. Look it up. It's bright red. And they gave me a standing ovation, which is not that you should give me a standing ovation when I sing this song, because some of you will agree and some of you won't. But the great American experiment is freedom of speech. And if anyone needs that, it's us artists who hold up a mirror to society and paint our pictures of what we see, write our poems, do our plays, do our creative dances, sing our songs, and just hold up a mirror on some facet of our society and reflect back what we're seeing. And this is what came out. By the way, I'll listen to your song. You're about to hear mine. Go ahead. I'll listen to your song. I'll listen to your poem. I'll read it. Send it to me. Lil Rev at lilrev.com. I'll respect your freedom of speech. Who cracked the bell? It ain't so hard to tell. Tell me, my brother, who cracked the bell? Who broke the law, blamed it on us all? Tell me, my brother, who broke the law? Who can we trust? No billionaire go bust. Tell me, my brother, who can we trust? I could hear old Paul Revere. I could see that flag flying free. They say she fell, but I know well, Lady Liberty is tough as hell. Who dodged the draft? At veterans mocked and laughed. Tell me, my brother, who dodged the draft? Who made the ladies blush, then paid them to go hush? Tell me, my brother, who made the ladies blush? Who cracked the bell? Our allies know this well. Tell me, my brother, who cracked the bell? I could hear old Paul Revere. I could see that flag flying free. They say she fell, but I know well, Lady Liberty is tough as
as hell. Thank you for listening. That's called "Who Cracked the Bell," and it is on YouTube if you want to look it up or share it with someone else, or give me a negative comment because you don't like it. That is your prerogative. All right. I think I got time for one or two more songs. Does that sound about right? All right. And now for something a little more lighthearted. I don't want anybody to have to pass around the tissue box tonight. All right. Could you... Yep. Thank you. All right. I can't remember if I ever sang this one in all the times I've been here, but I'm going to do it for you now. And this is a tune from Benny Bell. Benny Bell is not a household name. The only way you would have heard Benny Bell is if you were in the Catskills when he was entertaining in the Borscht Belt days of the 40s and 50s. Or if, like Lil Rev, you listened to syndicated radio when he was in high school, working at a filling station, and there wouldn't be any business, and I would just be sitting there listening to the radio, and on every Tuesday night would be Dr. Demento singing novelty songs of all sorts, from the Purple People Eater to Chuck Berry singing My Ding-a-ling, his only top 10 hit. Some better than others. But anyways, and a lot of great entertainers have done these kind of songs. Sometimes, they were like one-hit wonders, from Hello Mudda, Hello Fada, right on down the line to, the kind of parodies of Monster Mash or whatever you can think of. Or give me a little bit of juice on that ukulele. All right. Music today is very blatant. And used to be a thing called double entendre. And you would hear double entendre a lot in novelty songs. You'd also hear double entendre a lot in pre-war blues. Tons of songs. Tons of great songs. So here's an example of double entendre. Now, since I'm a pretty clean-cut dude, how do you really know how I intend this to come out? Okay? Do I mean it literally or do I mean it figuratively? You'll have to decide for yourself when you hear these verses, but you can't prove that I meant it in some obscene way. Maybe you're the one with the dirty mind, okay? Not me, okay? But first hear the song and decide, okay? Here we go. That went on the record. That's the tuba, okay? But tonight, at the end of every verse, you guys are going to sing that part, okay? Don't leave me hanging now. I used to work in Chicago in a department store. Used to work in Chicago, I did, but I don't anymore. A lady came in for candy, we had some in the store. Kisses she wanted, kisses she got, that's why I'm not there anymore. Used to work in Waukegan in a department store. I used to work in Waukegan, I did, but I don't anymore. to our butcher shop, we had one in the store. A goose she wanted, a goose she got, that's why I'm not there anymore. And you thought this was going to be a highbrow concert tonight. I used to work in Toledo in a department store. I used to work in Toledo, I did, but I don't anymore. A lady came in for a felt hat, we had some in the store. Felt she wanted, felt she got, that's why I'm not there anymore. You guys are enjoying this way too much. It's kind of scaring me. I used to work in New Jersey in a department store. I used to work in New Jersey, I did, but I don't anymore. A lady came in with a can for gas, we had some in the store. I whispered, ma'am, you've got some can, that's why I'm not there anymore. You guys are going to be glad to know that this is my last song tonight. Maybe, I'm not easy, but maybe if y'all hoot and holler like you did in my dream last night, where you stood up unprompted and hollered, 10 more songs, 10 more songs. Maybe one more, maybe, but we could call it a night too. You know, all the years I've been singing these kind of novelty songs like this, and I know lots of them. I got a whole class that I teach on novelty songs. I realize that you don't even really need to sing the whole verse. I mean, why give it away? People can figure it out where it's going. So why even say the whole thing? Why belittle their intelligence? So for this last verse, I'm not going to sing the whole verse. You guys can figure it out. Okay? I used to work in Manhattan in a department store. I used to work in Manhattan, I did, but I don't anymore. A lady came in for golf balls, we had some in the store. That's why I'm not there anymore. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate you listening. Thank you, guys.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets out of the two-way street without an encore. Should we ask?
One more banjo.
For one more song. One more song. And a big shout out to our volunteers. We're an all-volunteer operation over here at the two-way street. Tim's doing the sound. Steve's at the counter. My name is Jennifer. One more song from Lil Rev.
All right. Well, all right, I guess. All right, well then that means I got to unplug this. Okay, I'm keeping him on his toes tonight. All right. I'm gonna sing a song to end tonight that I love. I've been playing this a lot lately, and this is just a really cool song written by one of my heroes, and I have a few of them. Larry Penn, Art Theme, a lot of great storytellers and folk singers. Actually, you know what? I think I'll do without that for this one. And but Utah Phillips is an extraordinary songwriter, like my father, a veteran of the Korean War, and later on became a pacifist. You know, when you see war, it does those kind of things to you. And so he ended up traveling around the American West quite a bit, hopping freight trains. But he wrote very, very eloquently about the American West and captured it in songs just remarkably well. And so I like the stuff that he wrote about the American West, and but I particularly like this song, and I don't know what his inspiration for it was, but I want to sing it for you because I don't want to be the guy who
when he takes his last breath. I don't want to be the guy that has too many regrets. I think I'm doing pretty good so far. I don't have, a bucket full of regrets sitting in my gut right now. I think at almost 57, I feel like I've made some pretty good choices. I do have a couple of regrets, but they don't gnaw at me. And I don't want to get to the end of the line and woulda, shoulda, coulda. I want to make good decisions as I go along. Like, for example, tonight you all decided for some crazy reason, I'm going to go hear a professional ukulele player. I don't know what got into you, but here you all are. And so I hope you feel like that decision was a good one. And I hope that I will see you again soon. But this song says this: I believe if I lived my life again, I'd still be here with you. Can you handle that? Okay. That's going to be the chorus. And you guys are going to all sing that with me. All right? Can you do that? All right? Okay, here we go. By the way, I'm a big fan of Al Jolson. Nobody talks about Al Jolson anymore. But I grew up hearing a lot of his music when I was a kid, particularly my grandparents. So when I got older and became very interested in music history, I read a book about Al Jolson. And when he used to do shows back in the 20s, he played at a place called the Winter Garden Theater. And the Winter Garden Theater was a premier theater on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And you were doing pretty good if you were headlining the Winter Garden Theater. You were top drawer. But he said you have got to build a stage that goes all the way out to the audience, so that he could walk out all the way to the audience. You don't have to get up by the way. That's fine. And he could walk out and just kind of connect with people, look at people, see them. These days you go to a concert, the entertainer's like, 10 miles that way on some big stages, flashing lights, right? I'm glad I'm not that kind of entertainer, but I can relate. Al Jolson wanted to be able to look at people and see people. And even though I close my eyes sometimes when I'm singing to concentrate, I want to be able to connect with people wherever I go. So that's all to say. I'm glad you were here tonight, and I hope you firmly believe. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. Let's sing it again now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. And if I thought Lady Luck was blind, that old sun would never shine. If I thought death really held the knife, we'd all be beggars of life. You ready, Downers Grove? Make me proud now. Here we go. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. Oh, say it again now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. Times I wish I could close my eyes to some things I don't want to see. So I believe if you lived your life again, you'd still be here with me. Come on now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. I'll say it again now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. I'll take it from the fella whose mother is on her final final leg of a journey of 4.5 years with dementia. I would be impressed if she makes it through the year. Seems to be on the precipice so far as I can see. And I ain't rushing that. But take it from the fellow who watched a woman who could sing about 500 different songs off the top of her. You know, just out of nowhere she could pull those words. Oklahoma, Guys and Dolls, Chicago, and you name any Broadway show and she'd sing probably every song on the soundtrack. Think about that, you know. That could be any one of us. Be in the moment. Be grateful for the now. Challenge that brain to do something that you didn't do yesterday. I'll never see the ending of my mind. Everything must have a time. Or should I ask for things that I don't need? For foolish lies to hide my greed. Ready? I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. I'll say it again now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. My favorite version of this was done by a late great Chicago folk singer named Fred Holstein. You ever hear him? Yeah. Nobody sang this song better than him. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the 2A Street for having me. Appreciate you guys coming out. And come on back for some harmonica or ukulele at the end of the month, okay?
Also, tomorrow is church. They're having a holiday.